fitness and health fans. It's time to get your game on and crush it with Coach Marghella in another episode of Sporting Good Fitness. Join us for the podcast that will coach you from the sidelines to keep you on your game no matter what health or fitness game you play.
Hey, I'm Coach Marghella. I'm Sporting Good Fitness. What are you sporting?
Hey, Coach Marghella, what do you have for us today?
Hi, this is Dr. Marghella, and I want to welcome you back to our brand new podcast, Sporting Good Fitness. Most of my patients call me Dr. Frank, and this is our new segment that we're going to be doing. We're changing the whole podcast around, and we're really going in more of a sports direction, and that's really my passion. That's something that I've done my whole life. I've been an athlete. I've done a lot of training, and I still am very into fitness, and that's really my passion. So the podcast is going to take more of a turn in a sports direction. We're going to be doing a new format where I can interview people in the sports community or even former athletes and even current coaches that are in high school and possibly even the college and pro level. So these are the things I'm really looking at doing going forward because that's really my passion, where I watch sports all the time. I play fantasy sports, both really with baseball and football, and that's just kind of my thing. So I'm really into that, and I really have geared my practice for the average patient that doesn't play sports, but really a lot of the things that I do on evaluations for their posture and the way that we work up a patient in our office is geared towards better performance. So obviously the athletes that we have right now, we're working with a lot of high school athletes and even some middle school athletes. And my goal is really to increase the practice with more of a sports tint to it. So sports goes back to when I was a kid. Basically, I started playing T-ball with my dad, in my basement at my house. I remember I was 3 years old and he'd be throwing me a wiffle ball in the house and we'd be practicing baseball and he would teach me how to catch grounders. And then I got into football and basketball, playing hockey, lacrosse. So there really wasn't a sport that I didn't play growing up, and all through my younger years and then into middle school and high school, I played football through high school. I even switched to lacrosse when I was in high school, trying to get a scholarship. Living in Long Island, lacrosse is really big, so they had said to me to try that out, so I started playing that as well. And I really was interested in sports just my whole life, and that's actually what got me into chiropractic as well. Is when I was in high school, I started getting back injuries, and I just couldn't shake them off, and I ended up seeing a chiropractor, and it really helped me stay healthy in my last couple of years of high school. And I ended up playing football, and I was named captain of the team, and we had a really good team. We ended up winning the county championships when I was a senior, and going to the chiropractor allowed me to stay healthy and stay on the field my last couple of years of high school. So I really thought that was an avenue I'd like to go in as a career, just because I thought it was great that this guy could work on me without any drugs or injections or anything and just help me heal my body so I could perform better and have less injuries. And I really thought that was something that I could really get into. And as I went through high school into college, I kind of geared myself towards a career in sports. And then I just said, I really would like to own my own business as well. And I thought chiropractic was the best way to do that because I wanted to really enforce that you could heal your body and be successful without medicine, without injections, without any kind of pills and surgeries and things like that. That's the kind of direction that I wanted to go in. Now, obviously I don't play those anymore, but I do play some intramural sports. I've played softball, intramural, and flag football over the years after college. And now I kind of get into really sports as far as the Predators. I live in Nashville now, so the Predators are a big team here, and obviously the Titans. So I've been a season ticket holder for both for a number of years. And last year going through the playoffs with the Predators was probably the coolest experience because it was something I had never done before. I've been to a lot of sporting events. I've been to sporting events, all over pretty much the East Coast and the Midwest and in the South, but I've never really been to a Stanley Cup, and that was kind of my bucket list of things to do. So going to those Stanley Cup games were some of the most fun I've ever had. Walking out in Nashville and seeing 100,000 people in the street just partying before the game started, and then going into the game and having 17,000 fans sound like they were 100,000. And the decibel level in there was just deafening. I mean, they said it was like a jet plane taking off when we were at the Stanley Cup Finals. So it was really a cool experience to be there, to watch how we played in the finals And, I'm from New York originally, so I'm still a Giants fan for football. I'm still a Rangers fan for hockey, and Mets is my baseball team. It's been my team for, since I was a little kid. And I really just enjoy just all aspects of it. And as I got older, I got into fantasy sports, which is now huge, and I'm basically obsessed with it. I'm in 4 leagues for football every year. I'm in 2 or 3 leagues for baseball, and my wife is always saying, "Isn't enough?" But it's just not. I love getting into it. I love following each individual player. I love the stats. I love just kind of predicting who's going to have a good game and really just following everything so that I could be competitive with it, because I'm a big competitor. I don't like to lose, and I like to really watch something and predict that somebody's going to have a big game and then watch it on the field, and then he has that big game. And I've been pretty good. I've won several championships with both baseball and football in fantasy, so I feel like I have a good knack. And it's something that I'd love to be more involved in. If I had more time, I'd even do more leagues and things like that. But I think my wife wouldn't like that too much, getting into more. But I really just enjoy it all around. And that's kind of where I've geared my practice now, is not just, sports, but just people that, do yoga now, people that run, whether you're professional or just do it on the weekends. It's something that everybody should be active. And, if things aren't in line, then you're just not going to perform at your best. You're not going to have as much fun. These things are hobbies now. So you want to be able to enjoy it and not be injured. And at least if you are, a lot of people do competitive runs, even if it's just a 5K on Thanksgiving, or just doing yoga each week, or playing in one of these intramural leagues. That's, as an adult, a lot of times that's what you have. You're not going to be playing pro anymore, but you just want to be able to have fun so that you're not injured anymore, and that every time you go out there, you can play at your best and know that, that you gave it your all that day, because that's, it's just fun. It's really for fun now, so I want people to enjoy themselves. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is really what is going on behind the scenes, and we all watch these games. If you watch these games, what you don't see is what goes on behind the scenes, because these guys are putting their bodies through the ringer. But also, if you notice, as the last 5 or 6 years have gone on, there's a lot more injuries now in sports, and a lot of them are preventable. And unfortunately, also as a fantasy sports player, I follow these individuals, so I know when they're hurt, and I know kind of the patterns that they're in, and they get in these chronic patterns of injury, and a lot of it is preventable. And I want to talk to you more about kind of what's going on behind the scenes there, and what they're doing differently, and what the direction that should be going to help these guys stay healthy. I just see this as a bigger problem now than it used to be, and that's kind of where I'm moving my practice at. Whether you're the weekend warrior or a professional athlete, I'm gearing this practice to help you be able to stay healthy. So when I watch these guys on the field, I'm seeing a lot of these hamstring injuries. I'm seeing now a lot of Achilles tears. I'm seeing a lot of groin injuries, and I know that these are more preventable injuries, because a lot of them are even non-contact injuries, where these guys are just running, and out of nowhere they pull up lame in their hamstring, or they're tearing their Achilles, or they're getting a groin pull, or they're pulling their oblique muscles. That's a big injury now. A lot of sports, a lot of baseball players get these oblique injuries because they're overdeveloping certain muscle groups and underdeveloping others. And in baseball, that's a big one, is the oblique injuries. Obviously, you see all the elbow problems and the shoulder problems in these pitchers. And there's a lot of issues that I see in these athletes that are very preventable. And that's what I'm gearing my practice towards, is really showing people, all right, what do you need to do to fix these things? How do we find the root cause of these problems and really fix it without drugs or surgery or injections, and just really finding out where the imbalances are and giving you things that you can do at home or in the office that we can fix those and become a better athlete and have less injuries. And that's what I intend to do now with the way that I'm moving my practice, is that I want to educate the public about how to prevent these injuries, and I'm really going after, working with younger kids, because I see these patterns in kids that are, 8 years old. I had a girl come in my office. She was a soccer player just a few weeks ago. She's a star. She's fast. She's her best player on her team. And we did a scan on her, and she was putting 65% of her weight on her right leg and only 35 on the left. And it was throwing off her whole balance. She started having these chronic back injuries at 8 years old. And it's something that we were able to fix pretty quickly, but it's a pattern that I see that happens in a lot of athletes, both men and women and boys and girls are having these patterns start. And my goal now is to identify these things really at a younger age. I want to have guests on the show that can help people both with supplements and coaching tips and exercise tips that'll help really gear you towards not getting injured and gear you towards having better performance and just making, the most out of your time, working smarter, not harder, basically showing you what's going to work, what's going to probably hinder you and gear you towards success. So I geared my practice in this direction. I named it Ideal Health and Wellness Center because ultimately we want the ideal body. And the ideal body is where it functions at 100%, both mentally, physically, spiritually, so that everything is in sync so that you're able to perform at your best, whether it's on the weekends or whether it's professionally or whether it's, just for fun or whatever you're doing, it's geared towards that. Because to me, I use that word ideal because that's what we're all looking for is the ideal answers to the problems, the ideal, exercises, to the ideal things that you can do for yourself as far as eating and sleeping and just preparing to stay healthy in a way that avoids all the routes of pills and surgeries and drugs and things like that. So really, this podcast is geared for anyone, whether you're doing CrossFit and flipping truck tires, or you're just playing flag football on the weekends, or you're, an avid golfer, or maybe just you like to go down to the driving range and hit some balls. Really the people that do yoga and people that play Frisbee golf, or just somebody that loves to just go to the gym and run on the treadmill, or maybe you just, love to run. So you just go outside and you just love to run because it just really makes you feel good. This podcast in my office is geared towards anybody that is moving their body, and we want to help them move at their best and be at their peak performance. So the way I'm gearing the podcast now is really to help my patients and just people in general, because they're only in my office for maybe 30 minutes, an hour a week or so, and they're at home the rest of those hours during the week, and there's so much more that is going on in their life that I want to help them be able to have that kind of support basically at all times, so that when they're home, they're able to do things. They know exactly, what may, need to eat as opposed to what they were eating, or, things that they should do as exercises to help keep their body in shape, things that I really can't do in the office that I want people to be able to do at home so that they could really keep themselves in good shape and, really just get the gains that they want. Because again, I'm limited in what I can do just because people have busy lives and they can only come in so much. And I really want to give them the support that they need at home to do these things. So when they go to the gym and when they're out and, living their life, that they know what to do when they're not in my office. So we've geared the office that way, and we've allowed people to be able to come in, but also do a lot at home. They're on their way to success as far as any sport that they're doing, whether it's, like I said, running, yoga, flag football, intramural softball. We just want them to be prepared for all that. So this podcast is designed for you. It's something where you need to know what to do when you're about to play sports, whether you're about to lift, at the gym, whether you're about to just do some cardio. It's for you to really succeed in anything that you decide to do with sports or with just working out. And, the patients that come in, they feel like they're getting a lot of value because they can go home then and implement a lot of this in their life and really get PRs at their gyms when they're lifting, when they're doing, burpees and they're trying to get those extra reps, or, they're doing squats or they're doing cardio and they're able to go longer distances. Even if it's just on the treadmill or the elliptical, they're able to reach their PRs and go past those points that they never thought they could get to. And that's really what it's all about, is just helping people just get to the point where they feel like they're succeeding and they're having fun doing it too. Because that's the whole point, is sports are meant to be fun. Athletics, lifting, cardio, it's all meant to be fun at the end of the day, because it's something that you enjoy to do, and it's a way to kind of get that release. And I do recommend it for most people, because they're usually not doing that enough, and just that little bit of exercise really goes a long way of helping them get to where they want to be. And you can too. You can be that person where you're hitting those PRs that you see other people hitting, and you want to be in that group, and it can happen. It doesn't take long to get there. And whether you think you waited too long to do something about your health or not, it honestly is. And I have people come in their 70s in my office that get better, because it's never too late. Your body can heal no matter what age you are. So whether you're my patient or not, the point of this is that I don't spend as much time each week with my patients as I'd like. So I really want to reach out to people that aren't here. That if you're not one of my patients, you're able to at least get some information, whether it's through my guests or whether it's through me, that you can learn and really grow into, whatever you're trying to accomplish, and get the most out of it, so that you feel like you're learning, and growing each week. And I want people to understand that it's a way that they can just really grow as far as their speed that they're trying to get, or if they're lifting and they're going for PRs, or it's cardio, or you're just running in a 5K. I want you to do it your best, and I want you to be able to get the most out of this, because I want to just have more avenues for people to learn and just get the knowledge that they need, and get the advice that they need, that they can feel like, wow, I really got something out of this, and I enjoy listening to this, and I enjoy the guests that are on there. I just want people to know that we care, at Ideal Health and Wellness Center, that you're going to get the most out of this. So I encourage you to listen, whether it's at work, whether it's on your drive to work, whether you're on the treadmill at the gym, whether you're just, hanging out at home before bed. I want you to be able to have this whenever you need that, that info and that little burst. And I want it to be fun. I really want people to enjoy this and get the most out of it, as far as getting the info that they feel like they need in a fun way that they want to do. This is a democracy we live in, so I really want to hear from you. I want to know what bothers you, what injuries you've had, what problems you face, and I want to know what you want to hear the most. And we want to do podcasts that you want to hear, because I want to make sure that we're providing the best information and on the topics that you think are the most important for you. So I'm interested in hearing your feedback on on anything that we do here. I want to know what you want to hear. I really would like to hear from you, and we do truly read all the PMs we get, all the emails that we get. If anybody calls our office, I try to speak personally to everyone that calls us. And we're on Facebook. You can check us out on Facebook, Ideal Health and Wellness Center, and also Instagram, same thing, Ideal Health and Wellness Center on Instagram. And if you email us, you can email us at drfrank@idealhealthwellness.com. And that's drfrank@idealhealthwellness.com. And we do truly read every email, and we want to know your feedback. So, if you email me, expect a response, and expect us to listen and really form some podcasts that are meant to help you, with the topics that you want to hear most. So we're about to wrap this up, and I just wanted to thank you for listening today, and hope that you tune in the future. We have a lot of guests that we have planned, and a lot of fun things on the radar. So I just want to thank you again for listening today. And again, give me your feedback about the show. I'm here to listen and learn from you too. So I want to know, again, what you want to hear. So again, thank you for listening today. And I'm Dr. Frank Marghella, and I'm sporting good fitness. What are you sporting? I'll catch you in the next show.
Thank you, Coach Marghella, for another thrilling episode.
Sporting Good Fitness is a broadcast wellness production powered by Ideal Health and Wellness Center in Franklin. Executive producer, Frank Sardella. Dr. Marghella appears courtesy of Ideal Health and Wellness Center, copyright 2018, all rights reserved. For more information, visit sportinggoodfitness.com.